Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Riser Fall to talk a little bit of college football action for Saturday, September 24th. First thing I want to do is turn this light down a little bit. We're not recording TikTok videos. Let's get this light right, nice, soft, and calm, so we can talk football man to man or man to woman, however you want to put it. Now that I'm not on the surface of the sun, let's talk about college football. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about the deal and the bonus I can personally give you here at Team Riser Fall. I kind of want to crank it up just a couple. There we go. That seems about right. Edit it out. No, we're going to one take through this thing because, hey, it's college football Saturday. Anything goes. You should see all the times I've been on a college campus on game day at Michigan games. I'm sure you've done a few things you're not so proud of yourself there. So before you cast judgment at me, look at yourself. Enough with all the crap. Just having a blast, having fun. It is Saturday and all. Get to the website at Team Riser Fall. Right now is when you're going to want to dig in. Use promo code BEASTIE. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services. And as it stands right now, that's really the only promo code going around the website right now. So promo code BEASTIE. You see the jersey hanging in the back right back there. That'll get you $10 off. And there is a whole lot to like about the Riser Fall. All the premium options. The MLB is still going on. People holding tight to that. Hockey's right around the corner. We're talking college football here, and let's not forget NFL, the cash cow, the king of the castle, however you want to do it. So make sure you get there, and in the Discord, which is free, there are some premium options. When you get there, tag me at Detroit Beastie. Say, hey Chris, I made it in. I watched the video. I made it into the Discord. What's going on? I'll gladly shout you back out, and we can get a conversation going. Or find me on Twitter, as you already know. Let's talk about college football. There is 14 games today and 6 different slates. That's how college football is, right? There's games played, from morning to noon to night on Saturdays. And as it stands right now, I think this is week 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's 1 week ahead of the NFL. So as the NFL embarked on week 3, college football is a week ahead here. And let's talk about the first one I want to talk about, numero uno, and that's quarterback Jalen Daniels. The Kansas' quarterback. Kansas plays Duke. Jalen is 11-2 on FanDuel, 7-9 on DK. As it stands right now, I need to quit saying that. That's first and foremost here. But so far, so good for Kansas. They have yet to really go up against a formidable defense here. And Houston couldn't do it. I'm quite sure that Duke isn't going to be able to do much either. Daniels does feel a little bit cheap here, at least on DraftKings at 7-9, on FanDuel 11-2 for a quarterback. That we're talking like single game slate kind of numbers here. But he does everything for KU. The Jayhawks, I remember I had that rubber basketball. I had no idea what it meant. You play the hoop game at the carnival and you win and it's a Jayhawk here. And when you look at Daniels, he's accounted for 5 touchdowns, 3 passing and 2 rushing in the upset last week of Houston. And get this, Jalen hasn't committed 1 turnover since week 1. So he isn't this big, prolific name where you're like, oh my God, I need CJ Stroud, or oh my God, I need, whoever the stud running back is right now in college football. I need that guy. He's worth the price tag, especially on DraftKings. And when you look at him on FanDuel, you might second guess yourself. But as we go down the length of this video, I've actually prepared it in a way where we can get in a lot of these cheaper running backs and wide receivers here, and we can get in a Jalen Daniels, or we can get in so like a Ronnie Bell. What I'm getting at is I have some cheaper options. So if you want to spend up on FanDuel for quarterbacks, it's all well and good, and I have several sample lineups which I will share right after this video is published. So probably Saturday, tomorrow, today, this morning, I will share all that stuff over at my TikTok. Same thing, at Detroit Beastie, in working in conjunction with Team Riser Fall here. So next quarterback I want to talk about. And again, these guys are from left field, right? And we're going to talk about Drew Pine, Notre Dame's quarterback. Drew Pine, right now, they're playing in North Carolina, UNC, the powder blue North Carolina. Drew Pine, 7-4 on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he's $5,400. So as it stands right now, North Carolina's defense has been just absolutely gouged and just beat up by everybody. And when you look at Notre Dame, they moved better on offense with Pine under center. So you look at it, it's a tale of two things. North Carolina's defense has been awful, and Notre Dame's offense has been okay. So the 2-2 should be, realistically, Notre Dame should absolutely smash North Carolina, and that's what I think. But when you look at the second stringer in Drew Pine, he gets the ball for them, and you hate to see Tyler Buchner. He was Notre Dame's Fighting Irish's starting quarterback, I believe. He hurt his shoulder, and he's going to miss the rest of the season. So now it's up to Pine, and this kid could be a legend for a long time if he gets, strings together some game-winning, just wins games, right? And if, in DFS purposes, he can go down as a legend as well. But Pine is going to have his share of issues. We know all that. The solid outing against Cal should lead me to believe that when we look at this one against North Carolina, he's going to be okay. And get this, the Tar Heels, their defense allows around 280 passing yards a game so far this year. So Drew Pine, only $5,400 on FanDuel, 7-4 on DK. Look no further. As we go down the list, and we'll pick up the pace. If you didn't know, I'm recording this a little earlier than when you're watching it, so I'm more amped up than, we're probably on two different wavelengths right now. So don't let that freak you out, I should say. I want to talk about Robbie Ashford, Auburn and Mizzou. These two are getting together today, and we'll go down through the length of the video. Here's my notes here. I found a lot of Mizzou guys. I found a lot of Auburn guys that I like, but I want to start with their quarterback. TJ Finley is going to miss the game for Auburn, and he is their starting quarterback. So as you can see, Drew Pine, and now we're going to get a little Robbie Ashford, two second-string quarterbacks for their college teams, but they're there for a reason because they can play. They know the reps. They've taken the reps. So finally, we'll get to see what we can get out of Ashford here in a full game. We've seen little glimpses and little drips and drabs from Ashford, but now at his price tag, only 6.5 on FanDuel and only $5,000 on DK, I am all in on Robbie Ashford to see what he can do and how he can play and run this Tigers offense. We'll likely see him mostly run against Mizzou, so we'll see how the Mizzou defense handles them. As we've seen, the Mizzou defense at best is like pedestrian here, so that's why I like the idea of Robbie Ashford as such a cheap option at quarterback, and then we can hammer home stud running backs and stud wide receivers. And I will say, if you're playing on FanDuel, a lot of the FanDuel college contests are super flex, so you can get two quarterbacks. So if you want to run with Jalen Daniels as your stud and then rub in Drew Payne as your super flex, the lines you're able to build are outstanding. And let's get into some of the honorable mentions. I do want to mention Tunga Viola's little brother. Maryland plays at Michigan. 8-6 on FanDuel, 7-6 on DK. Maryland is, what are they, 2-0, 3-0, but they come to the big house. They're going to get smacked, swapped around, and that's okay because the Tunga Viola kid will be playing from behind. That old tried and true game perspective, you can't lose with that one. So if you want to get a little bit of Talula Tunga Viola, I completely, don't know how to pronounce their names, and I apologize. I think I said enough. So let's move on, and we'll talk about some running backs. And we're going to move on quickly here because we're already at 8 minutes in this one. And as we go down, you got names like B. John Robinson for Texas, Stone Cold Stud, Tank Bigsby. What a name Tank Bigsby is. I want to stop on Tank Bigsby for a second. When you look at him, another Auburn Tiger. It was slow going for him and the Auburn offense against Penn State last week. That's okay. That won't be the case against Mizzou, as I said moments ago about Robbie Ashford at quarterback. This Missouri defense, it's bad news, and that's putting it mildly. They're allowing 117 rushing yards per game. So Tank should be off and running quick with the however you want to put it. So make sure you get Tank Bigsby in your lineups. As I said, 6.9 on FanDuel, 6.4 on DK. I want to mention Blake Corum here at home, Michigan Wolverine. This kid is 9.8 on FanDuel, and on DK, I believe Blake Corum is, drumroll, I believe he's around 6'8", something along those lines. But get Blake Corum in your lineup here because this kid can go off. We saw it last week. 4 or 5 touchdowns with ease. And you compare him with J.J. McCarthy. I know you've seen the thumbnail. I got J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum on the thumbnail here. So to me, it's which way do you want to go here? And it's Tank, it's Blake Corum. Give me a little bit of Bijan Robinson as well. I glossed over him because he's the stud. Texas is at Texas Tech here. And Bijan, 10-6 on FanDuel, 8-3 on DraftKings. And as we move down the list, I want to mention a few wide receivers, and we'll get the heck out of here. Actually, one more player that nobody is going to care about, nobody's going to talk about, but maybe that'll get you over the hump here. And that's in that Notre Dame UNC game. It's Omario Hampton here. He is kind of a also consider, be on the lookout for him. Omario Hampton, 7-7 on FanDuel, 5-5 on DK. He's going to get some first team reps, maybe run with the twos, however you want to put it. But I do think Omario Hampton sees a lot of playing time in this game against Notre Dame. This one should be a good one as well. Let's talk about the wide receivers, and we'll get the heck out of here. You know what? The first few videos, right? The first one, I caught a lot of heat. This guy sucks. He's a jerk. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Guy doesn't watch college football. And then that video, everything I said in the video kind of came true, and then it was crickets. And if you know me, I'm not a guy, I'm not a flashy guy. I don't go in your face and go, you know what, I told you so. So it's just kind of, you gotta let it go. Let the things flow, let it go. These players still have to play. I can talk until I'm blue in the face about Bijan, Tank, Hampton, Blake Corum, but at the end of the day, they have to play. I'm just sitting here talking to you, trying to make a connection, but these kids got to do what they came to do, and that's play college football here. So let's talk about a couple wide receivers. Already 11 minutes in. I won't keep you. I won't waste your time. We're going to look at Rashee Rice, SMU. He's 8-6 on FanDuel, 10-2 on DraftKings. He's racked up 28 receptions for 491 yards in just 3 games. That's as good as it gets. You're looking at like 33 plus FanDuel points a game so far. So Rashee Rice, that goes without saying. But let's dig in. Once we dig in a little deeper here, I'll show you, and I'll be as quick as I can, because I know a lot of folks, when we get these videos, people are always buzzing around and they're like, should I watch this guy? Should I not watch this guy? And here's a few. I'm just going to read them off the list that I have. I have a little bit of a script, but I'd prefer to just connect with you when I read it from the script here. When we look at the wide receivers I'm looking at, Brevin Spann-Ford. He plays for Minnesota. They're going to Michigan State. He's 5-1 on FanDuel, only $3,500 on DraftKings. Now, he isn't their lead anything. He is like a second, third stringer, but Minnesota has had some injuries, if I'm not mistaken. And let me bring up my notes here, because I don't want to completely, look like a fool. But yeah, with the loss of Chris Autumn-Bell, opens up a ton of targets for the Gophers. Brown Stevens and Daniel Jackson are candidates as well. But I think that it would bode well for the Minnesota Gophers to look Brevin Spann-Ford's way, because in a possession game, a possession receiver kind of thing, that can be a hot commodity in a game like this. Minnesota at MSU, Big Ten kind of atmosphere, especially in Michigan State, in East Lansing, 40 minutes from where I am now. So give Brevin Spann-Ford a little kick of the tire here. 5-1 on FanDuel, only 3-5 on DraftKings. A few other to consider. Ronnie Bell, Michigan playing Maryland. Ronnie Bell, 7-1 on FanDuel. Local kid, 7-3 on DK. You pair him with J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum. You got a little bit of a Michigan stack there. We've seen what Michigan can do, but again, it's all fluff matchups. I'm aware of that, but they are now getting into the Big Ten schedule, so we'll see what Maryland brings to the table here. We know what Michigan's going to do, hopefully, fingers crossed. And one more wide receiver I want to mention, Jalen Calhoun. He is the Duke's wide receiver playing KU, so we have a lot of moving parts in this one with Kansas and Duke and Mizzou and Auburn and Michigan, and here we are. So to me, it's all about these guys that I listed here, and I will share a screenshot of what I tried to say and get across to you. And a couple stacks here, if I may. A Kansas Jayhawk wide receiver stack, Devin Neal and Daniel Hishaw Jr. Look to stack both those guys, because I know if you're playing college football lineups, it's like eating Lay's potato chips. You can't just eat one. So when you play college football lineups, you got to make several of them. So look for a KU running back stack, Devin Neal and Daniel Hishaw Jr., both running backs. Why can't you stack 2 running backs from the same team? I mean, what the heck are we doing here? And then the Mizzou Auburn game. I'm looking at Cody Schrader and Nathaniel Pete, both guys very doable in terms of price tags, and that's what I have for you. And before I split, make sure you go to the website at Team Riser Fall, use promo code Beastie. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services. And as I always say, if I'm doing something that you dislike, tell me. Let's talk about it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know how I can get better, because everything I do with my notes and my writing and my broadcasting is for you. I don't watch these videos back. I produce this content so you can have some fun, because I have fun recording and editing them. So if there's anything I'm doing that rubs you the wrong way and you're like, damn it, the guy could be so good, but he's just a dick when it comes to this one thing, let me know what it is, because I'm always open and willing to change and do anything it takes, to get you well prepared for any and all DFS slates. So until I see you again Sunday morning for the big morning show, week 3 with Mitch at Team Riser Fall, be good, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.